It's Tuesday, the 21st of September 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know today in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
5 stories, 5 minutes, let's go. Number 1, iron ore prices.
They fell even further over the past 24 hours. They're down to about $90 a tonne. That's in futures trading in Singapore. They peaked at about $230 a tonne, and that was just 4 months ago. Why? Pretty good question. We know Chinese steel mills have put a cap on output. That hurts iron ore demand, but there's not really a lot more to it. I mean, panic seems to have set in. At the edges, there's this issue with Evergrande, which is the biggest property player in China. If it goes into liquidation this week, which is possible, then the property market in China could certainly tumble, and about 35 to 40% of steel goes to that market. What it has meant is that BHP, Fortescue, Rio, their share prices have been tumbling. Yesterday, they were down between 3 and 4%. And some of the junior iron ore miners like Champion Iron, it was off 13% yesterday. Incredible. The other thing is that iron ore helps Australia's fiscal position. For every $10 drop in its price, we lose about $6.5 billion from the budget bottom line. So the big drop in iron ore prices has moved from hurting companies and shareholders through to hurting the national economy.
All right, that's story number 1 leads rather neatly into story number 2, the markets.
Yes, Michael, it's been a pretty brutal 24 hours. The local market was sold off more than 2%. The iron ore miners were hit. So too the battery metal groups. Lynas Rare Earths was down 11%. Nickel mines 9%. The lithium producers were hit. It happened globally as well. Wall Street fell 2.7% at one point last night. That's the biggest one-day slide since October last year. Of course, the market is still up 15% in 2021. Investors are worried that central banks will start tapering bond purchases, and they're really worried about China slowing down, and particularly about the country's largest property group, Evergrande, defaulting. It owes $300 billion, and D-Day is Thursday.
All right, number 3, energy group AusNet Services share price jumped as much as 22% after receiving a massive offer, $9.6 billion takeover offer from Brookfield Asset Management, the Canadian giant.
Yet another bid for a big Australian infrastructure asset. We had Sydney Airport last week. Spark Infrastructure's gone. Investors, especially the super funds, be they in Australia or overseas, they love the stable, predictable income that come from some of these infrastructure assets. It's actually the 3rd time that Brookfield has made a bid. The offer yesterday was a 26% premium to Friday's closing price, and that was enough for the board of AusNet to open its books and allow due diligence. The twist in this one is that 2 of the big shareholders are Singapore Power and State Grid Corporation of China. Convincing them to sell is the big unknown.
One to watch. Story number 4 this morning. COVID news. Things are looking better in New South Wales. 935 new cases recorded yesterday. That's the first drop below the 1,000 mark in more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, there were 4 deaths. Gladys Berejiklian, the Premier of the state, came out yesterday and welcomed the drop below 1,000 cases, but said the state really needed to brace for next month. That's when it's likely there'll be a huge jump in the number of hospitalisations and deaths. Unfortunately, the numbers in Victoria are going the other way. 567 cases yesterday, the highest of the year, and 1 death. There were 7 cases in the ACT and 1 in Queensland. Fortunately, that person was in hotel quarantine. The good news is a stack of Moderna vaccines landed in the country over the weekend, and the problems with the supply of the Pfizer jabs, which were rumoured over the past 48 hours, seem to have been sorted. And just quickly, the construction sector in Victoria have been closed down after violent protests outside the CFMEU headquarters yesterday. Daniel Andrews, Victorian Premier, made the decision last night.
All right, that's story 4. And story 5, you've saved my favourite one for last. I am a very big supporter and subscriber of the big streaming services. What are the latest figures?
Well, Netflix is at number 1. No surprises there, 6 million. Up until this year, Stan was number 2, but it's actually dropped back to number 4. It has 2.4 million subscribers, and it's certainly by far the largest local streamer. But coming at number 2 is Amazon at 2.9 million and Disney Plus at 2.6 million. And these are the Telsight's 2021 Australian Entertainment Subscription Study results. The other good news for the streaming services, and this one's for you, Michael, is the Emmys yesterday. The streaming platforms were the big winners, with Netflix and Apple TV taking out a bunch of the major awards. Some of the big winners included The Crown, Ted Lasso, Hacks, Mayor of Easttown. Got to say, I'm in lockdown. I've seen them all, and they're all pretty good.
Hacks is a brilliant show on Stan. Big fan.
Michael, The Crown, Ted Lasso, and Mayor of Easttown, all better than Hacks.
No.
Yep.
No way.
Get into them.
All right, I've got some binging to do. I will report back tomorrow.
Great. Thank you.
That's it, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
See you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 21st of September, 2021. Now make sure you followed Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can always find more info at fearandgreed.com.au. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Enjoy your day.